Hello Millwall fans, Paul Eiffel here. It's time for Chat with Chaps.
Post-match analysis for Chat with Chaps, where it's just finished at the Den. Millwall 1, Stoke City 0. Well, I think that's us mathematically safe. that's the pessimist in me coming out. But that was the first thing I thought when the game finished, to be totally honest. 51 points now. Did we deserve it? Probably not, if I'm honest. I think a draw would have been a fairer result. I don't think either team did enough to win the game. But look, you take it, right? It's our first penalty at home, I think, in over 2.5 years. Was it a penalty? Was it not? I'm not sure. We'll get into it. But look, you take them. And sometimes we've been on the wrong end of dodgy decisions this season. And, you know, for once, something goes in our favour. If I remember rightly, when we played Stoke away at their ground, we got away with a definite penalty. Jake Cooper definitely committed a penalty by pulling a player back. So we've had a fair bit of luck against Stoke this season. So I'm sure Stoke will certainly be feeling aggrieved. I've listened to Mark Robbins' post-match analysis of the game, and some of his comments are really bizarre. I wouldn't really want my manager to be coming out and saying certain things. He was throwing the players under the bus like nobody's business. But look, who cares about them? We win. Another nice, late winner. That's the third time in a month we've won the game in the last 10 minutes. Obviously, there was the Derby game. There was obviously today, and then the third one was, of course, Watford. So look, let's get into it. And before we do, if you're new to the channel, please give us a subscribe. Give us a comment. I do read all of the comments, even if I don't respond to them. I do read all of them. So thank you for taking the time out to do that. And of course, please give it a like. This is your call to action right now, just to give it a like. Everything we're doing this season is for cancer research, as you can see in the bottom corner if you're watching on YouTube. And I have a very exciting announcement related to cancer research that I'm going to share tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on the socials for that, because it's very quite a well, I think a big announcement. We'll see how it goes down. But anyway, so the lineup that Alex Neil put out, which, you know, if it was sweet for us to win in the last minute, I'm sure it was very sweet for Alex Neil to win in the last minute. I'm sure he was desperate to beat his former club. Obviously, the first time playing them. So lineup was Lucas Jensen in goal, Tristan Kramer coming back in at right back, Javit Tanganga, Jake Cooper, Joe Bryan at left back, Billy Mitchell and Casper Denore in the centre of the park. Don't know why I went into song then. And then, interestingly, 2 up top. So both Josh Coburn and Mihailo Ivanovic up top. On the left, Ademola Maku, and on the right, Reis Bengura Williams. To me, that's a very attacking lineup. And I know the game didn't pan out that way, but from a lineup perspective, I don't really think you could have asked Alex Neil to do too much more. Could and should he have played that at Leeds? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, you know. But it was interesting to see how we would fare with 2 up top. From Stoke's perspective, obviously both sides got a few injuries, but, you know, Ali Al Hamadi been very much linked to us. He started the game up top. Thought he had a quiet game overall. Always quite like Jordan Thompson in the central midfield. I thought he had a decent game. And then, you know, Walter Berger, I think I pronounced his name right. He's a very good player at this level. I think he probably should be playing at a better side than Stoke. No offence, I think he'd be better in a better side. But look, the game, before the game even kicks off, Stoke switches round, which I don't think it was anything to do with trying to throw us off. I think it was more the wind. In the first half in particular, the wind was certainly in obviously the position that we took with Jensen being not at the Coldblow Lane end, but at the opposite end. The wind was sort of blowing into that, and then of course the ball was holding up as we were attacking. The sort of wind dynamics changed throughout the game, but it was a really windy day and it was bloody freezing. It was 7 degrees, but according to my app, it felt like 1. It was bloody cold. And I'm going to say, like, the amount of shit that was being chanted at certain players, Joe Bryan, of course, being one of them, for dodgy free kicks and corners and stuff like that. The conditions were really bad, and it was the same for both. And the reason that you didn't see Stoke have so many of that is because they didn't have many free kicks, and I think they only had 1 or 2 corners the whole game. So the point I'm trying to make is the conditions play a part. However, we do need to sort our set pieces out, and that's definitely something that I will talk a bit about later. So obviously the game kicks off, and I felt we were really cagey. I thought it was a really slow tempo. And if I'm honest, I thought we had a really poor first half overall. I felt that they were the better side, much the better side, without really creating any clear-cut chances. But, you know, the ball comes in the box from a free kick for them on 6 minutes. We just sort of look cagey trying to clear it. I think it's Kramer that sort of scuffs the clearance. They then create a chance from their keeper. And it was just so easy. They were just carving us open. And I don't know whether that was us getting to grips with a new formation or something, and, you know, not having a 10 there, but 2 strikers. The press weren't quite right. But they then obviously get a corner headed over the bar. And it's, to be honest, we had a couple of nearly moments. I think Tanganga put a really good ball out to Maku, who started to cause problems. But what I would say about Maku is, I think Chumedu, hopefully I pronounced his right there, right back. I thought he did very well against Imaku today. I thought he was a bit of a knob because he wanted to square up to every single play. I think he did it at the end when the game had finished against Imaku. Obviously had the thing with Connolly. But in terms of his performance, I thought Stoke dealt with Imaku very well. And Imaku is very raw, right? Still. And his decision-making at times, like on 25, he should have taken the shot and he didn't. It resulted in him then getting booked. And even little things like when he makes the foul, the first thing you do is walk off. You walk away. But he doesn't. He sort of stands there, helps the player up. I'm like, no. But then he's a kid. Cooper should be in his ear, like, get away. Like, what are you doing? He did it again later on in the first half. But I feel Imaku today wasn't as effective because they were able to nullify his main threat. Like, I've said this before, I don't think there's many more explosive players in the league, but you take away that ability to be explosive over 10, 15 yards by doubling up, sometimes trebling up on him. And I think you see that he's not a one-trick pony. That's not what I'm saying. But that is his niche, right? That's his kind of ability. And I felt Stoke, certainly in the first half, did a really good job of doubling up on that. I thought the standard of officiating today, and we'll come on to the penalty, but I'm just talking about, and if you listen to this, you know I'm fairly objective, right? The standard of officiating today was horrendous, in my opinion. It was diabolical. I'll give you a few examples here, right? And the first one, now, this is never going to be given. I know that. And when I say this, please know that I know that. But on around the 4-minute mark, Victor Johansson has the ball, who is a very good goalkeeper at this level, by the way. And he takes, it's like a minute with a ball. Probably exaggeration, but a lot longer than he should. So they're time wasting from minute 4. So, you know, that's their game plan. And then as he kicks the goal kick, he is carried it 3-4 yards out of his area with the ball in his hands. Now, I know they're never going to get given, but like, that was one. 2 was when the referee stopped the game because Ali Hal Hamadi went down. Wasn't a head injury. Why are you stopping the game? The amount of tussles and fouls, particularly on the near touchline, that linesman, it was like he just didn't want to call anything. He didn't see anything. I have to say, not just digging him out, but I thought it was the worst linesman performance I've seen in a long, long, long time. The one near me, I don't know his name. I thought he was atrocious. So I thought the standard officiating was really, really poor. But if you're going to do that, then I felt if the referee's going to allow, because I felt Stoke were good at like the dark arts, particularly in the first half. I thought their number 26, is it Phillips? He was all over Coburn and Ivanovic. And to be fair, he was winning that battle because the referee wasn't giving anything. And I felt that we weren't aggressive enough. I felt Coburn and Ivanovic needed to give it back a bit more, and they weren't in the first half. And I also felt that we weren't aggressive enough in our press, and we were being overrun too easily. I thought it was a really poor first half, and it summed it up that we didn't have a touch in the box from a striker until the 40th minute. So I think that sums up the first half. They were creating chances. I agree with Mark Robbins in his post-match. They were creating chances almost at ease. They never really created anything clear-cut, but we were really, really poor in that first half. And I was just sort of hoping it was because of the wind and that when we come out and we would be a lot better. Now, the second half, obviously no changes. I think it took a bit of time, but I think from about the 65th minute, there was only one side in it. However, what is really important to note there is they had probably the two best chances of the game on 60 and 61. Before we do that, I thought Imaku did really well on 47 when they're doubling up on him and he puts the ball right across the face of goal and no one can quite get there. Now, I've seen a few people say that Coburn was pulled back by Wilmot here. I've watched it back, and again, I try and be objective. I think they're both having it each other. I don't think that's a penalty, personally. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but for me, it wasn't a penalty. That was on around 47, 48. On 60 minutes, and again, bear in mind, I haven't seen anything back, so I'm recalling this based on my notes taken at the game. They break, and Crammer commits and gets beaten. We believe it's offside. It's not given. Obviously, I haven't seen it back as to whether it was. Our players certainly did. Our fans certainly did. And then it is their winger, who I need to tell you is, because I thought he was half decent as well. So bear with me, caller. Talk amongst yourselves, all that kind of stuff. His name was Bae Yun Ho. Yes, he was good against us in the reverse fixture. Smashes it off the top of the bar. Now, initially, I didn't think Lucas Jensen touched it, but he celebrated like mad as if he saved it. And if he saved that, that is a phenomenal save because, you know, offside not being given, Crammer getting done a little bit there. That was a really good opportunity. Just over a minute later, they have another opportunity. So the ball, again, this is the linesman. Oh, I don't see anything. The ball's gone out. It's near us. I believe the ball's gone out. The players do. Alex Neil was incensed by this. They don't give it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's at least 30 seconds between that moment and when the shot comes in. So we have to do better. And it is really unfortunate. Billy Mitchell goes to clear it. It ricochets off one of their players straight into the path of Berger. And this is a phenomenal save. I have seen this back because I've watched Sky. I've got like a 2-minute sort of highlight. So I've watched this back. And this is an outstanding save from Lucas Jensen. If you listen to this, you know I've been fairly critical of him. This is a game-changing save because ultimately, if this goes in, it changes the complexion of the game. We certainly don't go on, in my opinion, to go and get 3 points because it is right in the corner. Again, Mr. Mark Robbins in the post-match, rather than saying, oh, it's a great save from the keeper, he blames Berger for not trying to chip it over him. I mean, like, you just don't want your manager saying that. Stoke fans, if you're listening to this, drop a note in the comments. But I don't know, like, and I've lost respect for Mark Robbins anyway because of the fact he, you know, wanted this break from football and wouldn't talk to Millwall. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, he's Stoke manager. But money talks, as they say. So really, really, really good save from Lucas Jensen. We then have a dead ball situation on 63, where again comes to nothing. Casper has a volley on 65. We need to invest in a set piece specialist because a couple of things. The amount of times we are getting like switching off from short corners happened again today. Thankfully, it came to nothing. But our free kicks, our corners, our goalkeeper distribution, and yes, as I said, the win today, but I'm talking representative of what I've seen this season and certainly under Alex Neil. We have to invest in a set piece specialist. We are not good at that, and that was something that we've always prided ourselves on. So, Mr. Berylson, you've said you listen to my podcast. So if you are, two things, please. Number one, set piece specialist. Number two, we have to invest in an attacking right back if we're going to continue to play the system in the summer. I haven't looked, but I would imagine that whilst the time he was on the pitch, Kramer touched the ball more than anyone else. The way we play is to have natural width down one side, which was down the left today with Imaku, and then Reece Bangura-Williams was much tighter. And then that basically creates space for Kramer to push on. The amount of times he was getting the ball on the wide right, I mean, I think he was knackered. That's why they had to bring Wes on. And it was the same for Wes. That is there are two centre-backs playing out there. And yes, we'll have Danny Mack, and yes, we'll have Ryan Leonard next season when they're back from injury. But they are not an attacking right-back. If we're going to play this way and we're going to have all of this time and space with a proper right-hand side, Negley was bought to cut in. I know that. I understand it. That's what Rom did. But if you're going to play this way, you've got to have natural width from a right back. And that is something, for me, that should be prioritised in the summer. Anyway, side note. But 71, Tanganga has a header blocked from a corner. I think the keeper probably had it covered. We had a bit of pressure. I think we had 2 or 3 corners in quick succession. We then make the changes. So Harden and Connolly come on for Imaku and Kramer. I've already talked about how I felt that Imaku was largely ineffective today. 75 straight away. Connolly in the thick of it. Him and Chumadu having a little bit of a Barney. Didn't really see what was going on. I thought Chumadu had Connolly around the neck, but obviously the referee does what they all do and takes the easy option and books both. Can't really comment. 77, I've written down poor free kick again. Don't really know what happened there. I felt at this moment, this was time to bring on Sav, if I'm honest, because I felt what we needed was a calm head in the middle, and I just felt we would create chances. Obviously, Sav doesn't come on 86. Ivanovic has a header, but I think it was offside, although I wasn't, it was given offside, but I'm not sure it was. Again, I've noted down here that even at this point, I felt that their number 26, Phillips, had won the battle overall on the 86. I've got to mention this. On 89 minutes, Billy Mitchell does something like that. If Jude Bellingham had done it, everyone would be going mental. He gets the ball and he does some sort of skill to sort of turn and flick it. I don't know if he goes through the player's legs, but he completely bamboozles his player. And not only that, it then plays a raking, inch perfect 30, 35 yard ball out to Wes Harding. Of course, it comes to nothing because we don't have a proper right-hand side, hence the point earlier. But that was good from Billy. And what I will say is, I know Casper Denor got man of the match, and I thought he had a very good game. But for me, both Billy Mitchell and Joe Bryan were our best players today, in my opinion. I thought Billy had a very good game. You're really starting to see him, I don't know, find his feet, find his fitness. I don't know if it just took him a little bit of time. So that was good to see. And I thought Joe Bryan was outstanding. I thought he was the best player on the pitch, Joe Bryan. And again, you know, if you watch this, that I haven't always been Joe Bryan fan, but I've got to say, recent weeks, last 4 or 5 weeks, I think it's brilliant. I thought today, man of the match for me. But yes. Bangura Williams goes off for Kundal on 89. Obviously, I'm like, what on earth is the point? Like, what is that actually going to do? And I think Kundal touched the ball twice. But I think he might have been involved in actually winning the throw-in. So the throw goes into the box. And I've seen this again, the 2-minute highlights, but the throw goes into the box and Coburn and Wilmot have got each other. But what I think ends up happening is that Coburn and Wilmot's legs get tangled and Coburn goes down. And I would describe it as a clumsy challenge from Wilmot in the box. Now, if that was given against us, I'd be fuming, admittedly. But like I said, we've not had a penalty on for 2-3 years. Was it soft? Yes. I don't think anyone could say it was definitely a penalty. They'd been at each other all day, right? But what I would say is, again, and this is me remaining objective, is that the referee hadn't given any of that all game. He wasn't giving anything in terms of, the holding on to each other. And then at the end, he decides to give it. So he's either, that just shows you how much of a dodgy ref he was, and the fact that he changed his, stance on how he was going to manage the game right at the end, or there was a leg tangle, which I thought there was, and it was a penalty, although it was soft. So look, don't know. I'll slow it down properly tomorrow and have a look. But look, we'll take it. But then, of course, you're thinking, who's going to take it? Because we missed the last two with Coburn and Connolly. And initially, it looks like them two are talking to each other about having the penalty. There's a bit of a fracas going on. Tanganga gets pulled away, and I think a couple of Stoke players get booked. But it's Mihailo Ivanovic that steps up. And this is some pressure for the lad. He's 20 years old. He's desperate to score. He's been battered all game. Did he have the best of games? No, neither did Coburn. And it's pressure, right? 92nd minute. But it's a good penalty. It's good, it's calm. If the keeper goes the right way, does he get it? Maybe, but ultimately he doesn't. He goes off with his iconic Mitrovic celebration, and then I think the referee allows the restart, and I think there's a throw-in, and then he blows the whistle. And we've won the game 1-0. Second half, we were definitely the better side. We had 64% possession, 7 shots to their 2, 5 corners to their 1. But we didn't really create anything clear-cut. And you have to say that the clearest chance of the game was the save that Jensen made. And that's why I want to give credit to Lucas Jensen, because that save enables us to go on and win the game, and the whole complexion of the game changes. So credit where credit is due. I think while Stoke will probably feel aggrieved that they didn't get a point and the penalty decision, what I would say is they were playing for a draw from kickoff. They were wasting time from about 4 minutes. So, I don't really have too much sympathy, if I'm being completely honest. And we win the game. We got 51 points. I think as the games are now finishing, I'm going to check. All of the games have now finished. We're in 11th position, 51 points. West Brom in 6th with 57 points. So 6 points, and they've got a better goal difference. So look, it's probably not going to happen. I say it's probably not going to happen. It isn't, let's be honest. But 8 games, international break, give the players a rest. There's been a lot of travelling for them. It's a tough to go away to the best side in the league, come back. We lost 2 players, so no Femi Aziz, no George Honeyman, and somehow win the game. I think that's got to be commended, in fairness. What I would say again is that I feel that we probably got a few more points than we deserve, if I'm being honest. Now, it swings and roundabouts, because I'm sure there was times earlier on in the season where we probably didn't get the points we deserved, like Watford at home, Bristol City away, so on and so forth. But, did we really deserve 3 points tonight? Not sure. Still not sure if we deserved the 3 points at Watford, the Derby game. But look, you take it, right? And I think what we've got is a foundation of I think a very tactical manager that's trying to, build the ethos of the club, which is to play these younger players. And I think as they start to play even more, I think that, it's only going to be better for us. So yeah, I think overall, a positive Saturday. Why wouldn't it be? I think, it's a good feeling to get 3 points. I think we've beaten Stoke now the last 3 years running at home. So certainly the last 2, I think both have been 1-0. And obviously I think we drew up there. So, and, from a Stoke standpoint, they're 20th, 39 points. I don't know what all that is. And they're only 3 points out of the relegation zone. So no wonder Mark Robins reacted as emotionally as he did after the game. So that's that on the game. And we're going into the international break. Before I finish, though, there's a couple of other points that I wanted to just mention. So the first one was I don't quite get, and there's probably a good reason for this, right? But I don't quite get why the club haven't come out and gone in on the FA or whoever for Liam Roberts. I'm not going to go through the Crystal Palace letter, what the FA have said. All I'm saying from That's all out of our hands. What's in our hands is to basically go for the jugular, to use precedents of all of the challenges, the Mane one, the Cresswell one, the Pickford one. There is loads, right? But they haven't. And there's probably a good reason for it, right? It's probably something on the lines of it will cost us so much money and we know that the FA won't change their mind, so what's the point? But I don't know. I just felt some kind of stance might be good. Not sure. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was the accounts. So publicised that up to, I think it was about 25th of June, 2024, we lost over £19 million, which of course has been funded by the Berylson family, which again, look, you have to, they've got to be 150 million pounds that they ploughed into our club. And you just thank your lucky stars every day that we've got the owners that we do, because it's just, you know, it doesn't even bear thinking about if we didn't, does it? But one of the things that I wanted to pull out was, of course, you expect to see revenue go up. You expect to see player wages go up, gate receipts, all that kind of stuff. But the thing that didn't go up, and this is the thing that I pulled out and it was a little bit concerning, was commercial revenue. So all of our commercial streams. So, yeah, that's something that I found a little bit uneasy reading. So hopefully the club have got some ideas up their sleeves to bring in additional commercial revenue. Obviously, I know they're working very hard behind the scenes. I know the guys there quite well, and they're top guys. So hopefully they got some really good things coming up. But I think it just shows you, I know there was a lot of talk around season ticket prices going up, but at the end of the day, this is our club and they need to make money. We can't continue to lose 19 million. Yes, this year, with the sales of SA and Fleming and stuff, it will look very, very different, which is great. And so it should. They deserve to not put 19 million every year. But no wonder they want to make us more sustainable in this league and bringing it back to on the pitch and whatever. I think we've got the right manager to certainly help us try and do that. But there you go. That's your post-match. Thank you very much, as always, for listening. Like I said earlier, I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow about something exciting that we've got coming up with cancer research. Hopefully you look forward to hearing that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Feels very odd getting this out at 5:30 on a Saturday, but there we go. And of course, I will speak to you all very soon. Thanks as always. Bye for now.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.